what can be done to ease the burden of the JPS customers in relation to an extension on the timeline when the bill is due, some kind of moratorium, as Jamaican people are suffering.
Bless up my people, welcome back to the channel. And in this segment, my people, as a response to the letter of estimated bills to customers from the Jamaica Public Service, we're seeing the opposition spokesman on energy, Philip Paulwell, come out basically saying that, he summons in the O.U.R to prevent JPS from doing such an, untenable, inconsiderable act towards the people who are suffering and who are still without electricity. And so right now, the Minister of Energy, Telecommunications and Transport, Daryl, said that he saw that very same letter. And so I'm going to hear his response to it, my people. He basically doesn't agree with people and said that he will go in a meeting with them as well as the O.U.R, because the people are suffering, his words, and thousands still don't have electricity. So what kind of estimated bill JPS is really talking about?
I take note of the press release by the JPS in relation to estimated bills for this month due to Daryl. And I would only say two things at this time. One, any estimated bill would have to be less than the previous actual bill, number one. And number two, I've already spoken to the O.U.R head today, and I expect that they'll have meetings early next week in relation to what can be done to ease the burden of the JPS customers in relation to an extension on the timeline when the bill is due, some kind of moratorium, as Jamaican people are suffering. Most persons, especially in the affected areas and other areas, have lost their livelihoods due to farming and other activities that have been damaged severely. So I think it is, in my mind, a bit insensitive in the way they communicated that, especially in light of the fact that they still have a lot of work to do to restore electricity across the island. And as we speak, there are thousands of persons that still do not have light. So I just want to assure the Jamaican people that I've seen it, I've taken note of it, and I'll be monitoring it to make sure that equity and justice is done, especially to the persons suffering from Daryl. Thousands of JPS customers are not earning to be able to pay JPS bills. Secondly, anybody who has any resources whatsoever, in many cases, are using it to try and recover from the effects of Daryl, whether it's a loss of their house, whether it's damage to their house, whatever it is, the resources are being channeled in relation to those aspects of the damage that has been done to them. So again, I just want to assure the Jamaican people that I'll be monitoring, I'll be meeting, because I'm sure between the disaster fund and other plans, there must be something that can be done, even in the short term, to ease the burden on the Jamaican people, especially the JPS customers. You have my assurance that the government of Jamaica is going to do everything possible in the coming days, weeks, and months to make sure that we protect you and assist in whichever way we can to get through this disaster until we recover stronger.
And note that he says that the publication from the JPS is insensitive. noting that a whole heap of people still don't have light and the people are suffering. And it goes back to when I seen a news release of them charging now for the 1C leg of the Highway 2000 that leads from Clarendon to Williamsfield in Manchester. And me did I say, right, that for kind of wall off too, because those areas are the areas that have been hardly hit. The people them can't even find food and water, let alone for go pay increased toll fee right now. So them could have even hold off on the toll fee as well. And I do believe that it is indeed insensitive of the JPS to come with estimated bills right now when they sort out the digital meter where them have and give the people them an actual reading, or say, for example, put a fixed rate then below what the people would have normally pay for the month of July, and don't come tell the people about estimated, because when checking up the last 3 months of light bill and dividing it by 3, it's gonna be over or around the same amount where the people have been paying, and enough of them still don't have light and have not been using any form of electricity. But when I talk up my people and tell me what I think. Also, my people, Dwayne Vaz takes a job at JPS, Digicel, Flow, and NWC of their poor preparedness as it pertains to burial and after burial passage, my people. Take a listen to what he said.
My name is Dwayne Vaz, your Member of Parliament candidate for Central Westmoreland. How the main agencies in Jamaica responded to Hurricane Beryl. Agencies such as the Jamaica Public Service, the National Works Agency, Digicel, and Flow. So let me start with the Jamaica Public Service. Yes, JPS. Weeks after Hurricane Beryl, many Jamaicans are still without the basic need of electricity. And I'm going to start before the hurricane came, because if the Jamaica Public Service was servicing the lines and posts, we would not have so many damaged posts across the island. If you check, most of these posts weren't rooted out the ground. They were broken, which suggests that a lot of them were not suitable to be holding up the wires in the first place. Also, if the overhanging trees were cut, we would not have so many trees falling down on wires. So JPS, if they were doing their due diligence, we would not have so many wires down in the aftermath of the hurricane. Another thing, for persons who are paying their light bills, I did a program earlier that stated that Jamaica is number 20 in the world when it comes on to highest light bills. So if we are paying the light bill, we expect to get the service that we're paying for. There is no excuse that 2.5 weeks after a storm has passed, areas that were not really devastated by the storm are still without electricity. Because yes, in Westmoreland I can say there were areas that were damaged, but there was no area that was damaged in such a way that persons should still be without electricity. So we're saying JPS must do better. We expect a more proactive approach. And after everything is said and done, we also expect that the response should be faster and more efficient than it is as we speak right now. Let me move on to the National Works Agency. The NWA again failed with their preparations for this storm. One, the major drains that were supposed to be cleaned were not cleaned before the hurricane. I can speak for Westmoreland and many other parishes. Also, the overhanging trees were not cut. The areas that need to be bushed were not bushed. So many of the critical areas were not touched before the storm. And in the response also, the time it took to cut up the trees that fell in the road, it was too long. Many residents took it up on their own head and hands and hearts and came together and used their power saws to remove trees from the road, which NWA was supposed to be doing. So the time of response again from the NWA was poor when it comes on to Hurricane Beryl. Let me go on now to telecommunications, Digicel and Flow. Both of you, must be called out after this hurricane. The communication was atrocious. It was hard to get in touch with anybody, whether during the storm or after the storm. This was one of the most critical times when people needed to communicate and people wanted to find out what was happening with their loved ones. Nobody could communicate because the services were down. And when it came up, it was in and out, and it acted up over a period of time, and it was very bad. So the communication systems in Jamaica, for both digital and flow, must be upgraded, must be improved, because almost every Jamaican has either flow or digital. And if we're going to be paying for these services, we expect to get the service that we are paying for.
But people, jump in at the comment section, share your thoughts and opinion down there. Let us reason, tell me what you think of everything that was said in this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Run go over to my other platform, Facebook and TikTok. Follow me over there at Anisabel Rose. Check out the YouTube store, make a purchase, it goes in support of the channel. Check out the YouTube membership, you get a lot of benefits by becoming a member. Only a small fee per month to be a member of the Anisabel Rose movement. Returning subscribers, big up on yourself as always, thanks for the support. New subscribers, welcome on board, thanks for the support. New viewers, come on board, journey with me, join the family. Subscribe to the channel, like up the videos, share out the videos, support the ABR movement by playing your part. As when I come up on the videos, then please to like and share them out. On the road to 20k, help me to get there. Get this video to at least 2,000 likes. Stay tuned for more videos, stay tuned for more updates. Big up on yourself.